Welcome to the Voice of Metal. Please like and subscribe. Hopefully, you guys are all doing very well. And I know the last time I was talking about suicide and some of the songs that have something to do with suicides and things like that. So, right now, we have a rather interesting, controversial issue and topic right now. And I've talked about this earlier, which my microphone wasn't working, so I apologize. And I should double check that to make certain that I actually am loud to where I can hear myself, because if not, then there's no point in doing this, right? Anyway, oh, sorry about that. Basically, what it boils down to, several shows that I've heard in other countries that were going to be going on fairly soon, and one of the biggest metal festivals going on has canceled the Pantera shows because of Phil. Nazi salute from Pantera. And which is sad that it has happened, and it's not good that he did what he did. And what I was talking about before was that, do we excuse his actions now, even though he has done this in the past? And also, for other things, it's just one of those things. Do we accept that even though he is a phenomenal singer and he makes Pantera what it is? I mean, besides the music, like I said, that usually the musician is one of the hardest people to have, somebody that kind of picks the band up and moves them beyond that point to where they sound kind of close to what they did before. The musicians usually can play songs a certain way. It may not quite sound the same, but it might be close enough, if as long as you know how to play the way they play. But it's one of those things, you got to know how to do it. A singer, on the other hand, is a distinct voice. So how do you distinguish the one from the other, and how do you move on from that? Personally, when I heard that they were canceling the shows, I did not realize what it was about. I thought it was because people were upset about the reunion tour and how, not Dimebag, but Vinnie Paul, the drummer that passed away, felt about reunion tours and all this other stuff. I even shared a actual YouTube video and a link on the Pantera main page about this reunion, saying if it's acceptable, then why did he say he doesn't want it to happen? The two founding members of the band are no longer around, but yet they're parading around like they're using the name, they're using their likeness, and they were not on good footing with the singer at the time when they left. That's the whole reason why Dimebag died in the first place, from what I know, is because some fan got upset that they started doing their own thing, because Paul was holding them hostage, and I'm assuming it's under a contractual agreement that they had, possibly. I don't know the whole details about that. So when you cannot do what you love to do and you want to do it, you got to find other avenues. So the fan that shot and killed Dimebag was upset, which I can totally understand, but there's no reason for those actions. And so this is the third, fourth time, whatever, that something's happened. Now, in the past, he was under a lot of pain. I totally get that. I totally understand. He was under a lot of heavy drugs that he was trying to subdue the pain. And I heard he did enough headbanging to basically misalign his spine and some other stuff, to where he was in absolute agony when he was performing, and he's half out of it. So, but even after that, I think he had tried to get some help, and he tried to reach out to them, and they didn't want to deal with that, which I totally get. basically they said we've moved on, and that's when probably things went haywire with the fan and all this other stuff. That's why Dimebag possibly died. Vinny, of course, that was a little different story, but no, nonetheless, just like Drowning Pool had a phenomenal singer, but they're still around, but it's not going to be quite the same because the singer's not there. The musicians can play like the other musicians to a point. So this makes it really tough and really hard. Is one, the reunion tour is one of those things that is okay to do because they had, well, at least Vinny had, I would assume, wishes. I would assume that's the way he would want it. No reunion. But they say it's not really a reunion, it's something else. And two, about this whole news about him doing certain things and supporting this, that, and the other, which is a hate group, of course. We all know about that. I don't know. That's a good question because there's a lot of things that people do that do kind of crazy things. I've never heard even the most controversial musical artists in the metal industry that most mainstream media is pegged as being a certain way has not done anything quite so bad. I mean, they sing about stuff, they talk about stuff, they have certain topics, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're talking about it in this retrospect. I mean, the respect of that's what they want to do. It's more about to shed light on a negative subject, a light on social issues, kind of like the one group called Skinned. They have a song called Columbine and other songs along the same nature where they're tragic historical things that have happened and they put you in the place and the or mindset of the individuals at the time to where makes you stop and think about what was going on with that. It's rather interesting, and yeah, it's one of those things. And actually, it'd be kind of an interesting question to ask other musicians. How do you think and what do you feel about this topic? Because do we allow them to continue what they're doing or not? Which, is up to debate. Yes, he apologized the second time around. He's already done this in 2016, for what it sounds like. I didn't know about that because I wasn't, I wasn't watching the news about metal and some of the other stuff going on at the time because I was living my thing with my family, this, that, and the other. It kind of reminds me of the lead singer from Five Finger Death Punch. He was announcing that he was going to retire and so he could spend it with his kids. Me, I was going the complete opposite. I was doing it beforehand. Now I'm starting to listen to my music again. So yeah, it's one of those things. What do you do? So that'd be an interesting question to ask people. What do you think? How do you feel? Is his apology enough? Plus, who's to say that, yes, he's done it once, yes, he's done it twice, but he might be thinking it the entire time and doing certain things behind people's back when they're not around or when they're not seeing what he's doing in his private life that is basically doing exactly what he was talking that he wasn't doing or apologizing for in the first place. How do you know for certain? Plus, it's hard to say. He said, well, I'm not like that. It's like, really? Now, from what I've heard from the articles that I've listened to or read, that he was saying that there was something going on the backstage and it was something to do with the white wine and this, that, and the other, and that's the reason why he was saying blank power. And I don't know if I buy that because he was also doing a salute in a certain manner that represents a certain party. And yeah, that doesn't coincide with white wine or whatever it was he was referring to. So I don't see how he can justify. It's probably saving his own neck, was what it is. And he kind of effed up really bad because of that. And yeah, I do know there's also some other articles I've been reading about, like old white guy gatekeepers for music and how they don't want certain things to happen because this, that, and the other. And one of the things is that the article was reading that the one, I forgot which group it was, um, he said he was wanting to wear makeup on stage and this, that, and the other, and people would say, you can't do that because, this is not acceptable. But that's his prerogative. This is definitely not the same level of that, but the guys that are keeping him from doing that is wrong. It's kind of like this whole thing too. But I hate to tell those guys that there's big bands like Kiss and other bands that have makeup on all the time. Even September Morning, the one, well, actually, the drummer did. He had some black makeup around his eyes, and the guitarist for the band and technical director, I guess you could call him. He does some of the sound checks and the electronics, but they need to put some money to get somebody to do that help them do that for them. But yeah, it's rather interesting. They do that too. September Morning does that. She wears white makeup and makes herself look like a superhero or character from a comic book. Kind of like some other ones with Gore and all these other guys, Slipknot with the masks, And there's quite a few other groups out there. Oh, Mushroomhead's another one. So that's not makeup, but it's still a face covering. So we're talking about stigmatism. We're talking about your belief system. What's allowable, what's not allowable. I don't think there's anything wrong with that stuff, of course, myself personally, because it's all cool. Because a lot of even TV stars wear makeup. Go figure, right? To make themselves look less shiny in certain places and make it look a certain way, or the presence of a certain look. Make their nose look smaller, something, whatever it is, for whatever reason. I think some of it's the cameras and the lighting, is what I've heard. So maybe I should wear it so that my bald head and my head up here doesn't shine. Anyway, this is rather interesting. I just need somebody to talk to on this because I think this would be a really good subject to talk about. So, what do you guys think? Like, subscribe, like I said before, and also make some comments. I would love to hear what you guys think. Do you think it's acceptable? Do we accept his apology? Do we not accept his apology? And plus, even about the reunion tour, if you guys got feelings on that, I would love to hear that too. I think that would be something that we could all talk about and get to know how people feel and think about it. Maybe later on when things get bigger and more people follow, and we actually have an artist on here, which would be awesome. I think I may know somebody that knows somebody that might actually be able to come on here to actually talk to me, which would be awesome. As I May Lay Dying, I think is how you pronounce it. They got some really good music, by the way. Awesome. The guitarist is who he's talking about, that he knows, and maybe I can get maybe a little interview with him with some certain questions. I think that'd be cool. If there's certain things he wants to talk about, hey, that'd be awesome. I would love to have that because I could use that. I could use the help. So that way people will say, hey, I want to watch this. So check it out, right? So with that said, I want you guys to do your part as a metalhead enthusiast so we can get our favorite musicians here to talk about them, their lives, their favorite colors, whatever topic it is, the band, the music, why they did the music that they played, and even some way for Phil to so-called redeem himself, which I don't know if that's even possible. Which, I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh yeah, he was innocent, which I don't believe that at all. But he says he's apologized tremendously more than once. I said, well, you did the last time. It's like, do you really expect people to believe you now? Do you believe him? I don't know. It's one of those things. It's a judgment call. We all have that thing in our back of our brains is like, okay, how do we perceive it? How do we think of it? How do we handle the situation? Take all the information and make our judgment call. Because to me, if you get the facts, not your opinions, this is about facts, and you put it all together, you have to make your own informed decision. Don't let me or anybody else tell you what you think or should believe in anything, in music and politics, whatever it is in life. Be independent, get your information, know it, and even then, when you think you know it, you may not know all the information. Just saying. Because sometimes we assume things when really it's not the case. Which, this is pretty cut and dried here, I think, folks. Yeah, I'm a little upset. I'm not a little. I'm infuriated, actually. But, I think it's just ridiculous. And, yeah, he's already apologized once. I think that's a second strike. 3 strikes, definitely you're out. 2 strikes, yeah, it's pretty much, I think it's pretty much, yeah, you messed up, dude. You really messed up. And I would love to tell him that face to face. Like, why in the world do you think that we, as the actual viewing audience of your concerts and your music, why do you want, or why do you expect us to redeem your soiled name in the music industry and keep on doing what you're doing and not to have us come back from that, you to come back from that, because that's ridiculous. Why should we take you back, even though that you are iconic for the band, unfortunately? Which, that's the conundrum right there. It's like, do we or do we not allow somebody that's a really talented singer, musician, whatever, to come back and say, hey, I screwed up and I'm apologizing, or I would never say that, or blah blah blah, but you did. It's one of those, like, hello. It's like, you said it, you can't take it back. It's out there. It's like, God, it's like a lot of other things in life. But also, people do make mistakes. I totally get that, because even I make my own mistakes and do stupid things sometimes. And that's the thing, is it's hard to say. And maybe not everybody's going to see it the same way I do, or you do, or he does, or she does. They, or people in general, whoever you are. How do we do that? It's one of those things. I don't get it. But anyway, I will let you go. I want you to know that I want you to like, subscribe, follow me. Make sure you do that, because without you, I will not be able to grow the channel to where I can have guests on here for you. So when you subscribe and you like, annihilate, smash, whatever, headbang the freaking like button, headbang that subscribe button. There you go. That's my thing. Headbang those 2 things for me. Is that the way to do it? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe that'll catch on. Maybe people will like that. We'll see. Well, thanks for watching. Take care. And hopefully this will be super huge, and we can get the to talk to our favorite musicians. So, thanks for watching The Voice of Metal. We talk about all things metal and maybe even some more music out there, especially awesome music, whether it's a little bit lighter, a little bit different. We like that, right? Take care. Have a good night.